think brown is definitely the best color in the world. Hey, Bluetube! Welcome once again to the Late Morning Show. I'm your host, Calvin. I'm here with Tanya today.
Hey!
And there's a good reason for why that happens. Because there's a...
Hey, Calvin.
Hey,
Where's...
dog.
Yeah, Steve the Wonder Dog.
Steve the Wonder Dog. Hello, Steve the Wonder Dog. Say hello to our fans on Bluetube.
Oh, hey, guys.
Oh!
Are we on the air?
Yes, we are live.
Wait,
that is a thing.
But where's Drew? I mean, Drew's always here when you're... Who's this lady?
This is Tanya. She's also a part of the kids' crew, and she's here to talk about some fun stuff. Drew's not here right now. I don't know where he is.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's bad news. Well, I better go run and find him for you.
Yeah. You should, go sniff him out with your Wonder Dog nose.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's hiding in the mirror.
I don't know where he
is.
There he is. I've got to go into the mirror universe and find him.
There you go. Good luck, Wonder Dog.
Bye, y'all.
Wow, Steve. He just makes this random appearance.
Oh, gosh. That was almost too perfect.
That was awesome.
I see a lot of people, including some of our Bluetubers, who are saying he's in the mirror. And that's correct. He was in the mirror. We got to get him out of there. So thank you all for joining. I see Jesse's on there. I see a couple other kids. Guys, thank you for joining in. Thank you for saying hello. We love to talk to you guys actually here in Bluetube. We're so excited. We have some great stuff to talk about today. But Tanya has come in with some very important stuff about our focus boxes or the kids.
Our kids club boxes.
Kids club boxes.
Yeah.
Tanya, what do we got going on?
So let us know online in the comments if you are here because on your badge sheet for Sunday, July 19th video experience, watching today, you earn a badge. So let's hear you in the comments if you are here. If you have received your kids club box, that's awesome. Let us know in the comments below how you've been enjoying it, what you've learned. There's been so many cool things happening, but there's 5 days of fun, so you still have 2 weeks left. We're going to be having a celebration at the end of July on Friday. We're going to be having a celebration and having a drawing for kids who finished their badge sheet.
Okay.
They get an entry. Guys, we have left no stone unturned. I'm talking, there is a Nintendo Switch Lite.
A what?
A Nintendo Switch Lite that is away.
Amazing.
And there's really cool things on here. Drawing a picture of what you think heaven looks like.
Okay.
Create a list of ways you can share about Jesus. Watching today's video experience. Do these things.
Okay.
So that you can earn your badges, which would be awesome, and you can get an entry. You also want to go through the activities. Parents, if you're listening and you haven't started, do it. Now's your time.
Yes, time is running out, and I think that you don't want to miss an opportunity to get something like a Nintendo Lite or Switch Lite or whatever. That's awesome.
But most importantly, if it's all about focusing, to be able to have, to focus your relationship with Jesus, how to be able to hear from him, how to be able to pray, all of those things. So if you haven't gotten a box and you're still wanting one, you can contact the church at info@cotfc.com and we can try to get you a box because we have just a few left.
Okay. Well, time is running out and we're hoping that everyone can learn to focus because that's important. We do need to focus right now. That's a very important thing. Looks like Maddie's there. Hello, Maddie. Welcome.
Hi, Maddie.
Welcome to the chat. Elsie and Henry down there too.
Awesome. Hey, Els.
But yeah, guys, make sure you're doing that because it's very important. These boxes are helpful. They're our way of being a part of your guys' kids camp summer without actually being able to be there, and they're actually really a lot of fun. So make sure you guys are doing that. Tanya, thank you for announcing that. That's a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me on Bluetube.
Absolutely,
I feel so lucky.
We love to have you. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it, guys, with our worship today. So stick around for the worship thing. Tanya's going to go ahead and keep making sure those boxes get out to you guys, and hopefully Drew will come out of the mirror at some point.
Hopefully.
So we'll be right back.
You spoke one word and the dark became light. I believe it, yeah. You spoke my name and my heart came to life. I believe it, yeah. I wanna sing about it, I wanna scream and shout it. I'm gonna sing it right now. At the top of my lungs I sing, with all of my heart my life. I believe it, yeah. You're all I need, always here by my side. I believe it, yeah. I wanna sing about it, I wanna scream and shout it, I wanna sing it right now. At the top of my lungs I'll sing, with all of my heart I will praise you. God, you are everything. You're the reason that I lift my voice. At the top of my lungs I'll sing, with all of my heart I will praise you. God, you are everything. You're the reason that I lift my voice. At the top of my lungs. Yeah, at the top of my lungs. Oh, at the top of my lungs. I'm gonna scream it, oh, I'm gonna shout it, I'm gonna sing it out. At the top of my lungs. I'm gonna scream it, oh, I'm gonna shout it, I'm gonna sing it right now. At the top of my lungs I'll sing, with all of my heart I will praise you. God, you are everything. You're the reason that I lift my voice. At the top of my lungs I'll sing, with all of my heart I will praise you. God, you are everything. You're the reason that I lift my voice. At the top of my lungs I'll sing, with all of my heart I will praise you. God, you are everything. You're the reason that I lift my voice. At the top of my lungs. At the top of my lungs. Yeah, at the top of my lungs.
Welcome back, Drew.
Well, thank you, Calvin. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Yeah, I was trapped in the mirror.
Yeah,
It was kind of
clearly.
freaky.
Yeah,
Kinda
it's-
Those are some great sunglasses, man.
Oh,
What's
these
that
here,
about?
thank you. These are the focus glasses. These are some of the things that you get in your focus box. They're super cool. But they
Gotcha.
compare nothing to the prizes that we're going to get at the end.
Right,
Guys, if you do this just for the prizes, I don't blame you, because it is
I mean, that's
super
why I'm
cool
doing
stuff.
it. Yeah.
You're doing the focus box.
Sure. I mean, that's
Oh.
why there are so few left. I've got
That's-
like 5, so I can get like 5 entries into it.
There
It
you
works
go.
like that, right?
No,
Oh,
it does
no.
not work like that.
Tanya's not going to see this, is she?
I hope not.
No, she'll totally disqualify me.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Well,
yeah.
Drew, I'm so glad you're here because
Thank
we have a lot to talk about today.
We do.
Guys, I'm glad you're here because we have a lot to talk about today. We are going into some very interesting discussions today about the Bible, and not just like questions about, things in the Bible. We're going into questions about the actual Bible itself.
Right.
It's a 2-part question day. We were given 2 questions by some of our kids in church. One of the questions was, it's going to pop up on the screen here, was how did God make the Bible?
How
We're going
did
to
God
answer.
make the
We're
Bible?
going to answer
Okay.
that question here. But the other question that was also very interesting, kind of relates to it, was the other one's going to pop up. It says, where did we get the information about the past or the Bible? Where did it all come from? And that's something that we're going to talk about and hit on too, because it not only talks about how and why God made the Bible and what method he did, but it's also going to talk about the process in which we got the Bible, the actual Bibles that we have today.
Right. Yeah. We're going to explore how did we even get the information, and then how did we transmit that information for thousands of years, and what
Yes.
did that look like? How did we end up with the Bible we have today, the one that we have on our phone?
Or in actual like hard form.
Yeah, I even have one of those.
Well, there's a lot of stories and a lot of information to that, and so I think the best way to do it is we have a video prepared for you guys to kind of show you the first question, which is how did God make the Bible?
We absolutely do, Calvin. But we're with all this incentivizing, all these prizes going on. That really makes me want us to give them a chance to win something else.
Okay.
So
another prize. I like this. What are you thinking? What are we thinking?
throughout the rest of the video, there is going to be a symbol, some symbol. You'll know what it is when it pops up if you look for it. I want you to post either in the comments or in the chat
Okay.
what symbol you see that just flashes on the screen at some random point in time.
You mean like the duck that appeared that one time?
The duck.
Not the duck. It's not the duck this time.
Okay.
Because I saw the duck. It's right there.
The
Watch.
so
Look above your head. Look above your head. Look up.
Oh, cool. It's not that. That's
It's not
not
the
the symbol.
It's a different one.
So you're going to, when you see it, let us know what it is. We'll go ahead and randomize, and we'll randomly select one of you, and there will be a special personalized prize that you will receive. Yeah.
Special prize.
Okay.
All right.
On
Let's
with the show.
Let's go into the story. This is the first of the questions that we ask is how did God make the Bible? And hopefully this will help you guys learn a little bit
Hit
more.
it.
The Bible. It's one of the most influential books in human history.
It explores the big questions of why we exist.
It's inspired many people to do amazing things.
And confused many others.
And you've probably got one sitting around somewhere.
So, what is the Bible actually?
Well, the Bible is a small library of books that all emerged out of the history of the people of ancient Israel. And in one sense, they were just like any other ancient civilization. But among them were a long line of individuals called prophets. And they viewed Israel's story as anything but ordinary. They saw it as a central part of what God was doing for all humanity. And these prophets were literary geniuses.
Really?
Yeah, they expertly crafted the Hebrew language to write epic narratives, very sophisticated poetry. They were masters of metaphor and storytelling, and they leveraged all of this to explore life's most complicated questions about death and life and the human struggle.
So, there's a lot of different authors writing this book.
Yeah, and these texts were produced over a 1,000-year period, starting with Israel's origins in Egypt, then leading up to their kingdom with their first temple. But eventually, they were conquered by the Babylonians, who took them away into exile. Then, at a crucial moment in their history, many Israelites returned to their land. They built a second temple, they reformed their identity, and this is when the Jewish scriptures began to be formed into the shape that we have them today.
Okay, the Jewish Bible. What's in it?
Well, in Hebrew, it's called by an acronym, Tanakh. The T stands for Torah, sometimes called the Law. That's Israel's 5-book foundation story. The N stands for Nevi'im, the Hebrew word for prophets. And this section consists of the historical books that tell Israel's story from the prophet's point of view. Then you get the poetic books of the prophets themselves. The K stands for Ketuvim, the Hebrew word for writings. This is a diverse collection of poetic books, wisdom books, and more narrative. And the Jewish people believe that through all of these literary works, God speaks to his people.
Now, there were other Jewish writings being produced during this Second Temple period as well.
Yeah, a really diverse group of texts. And these too were highly valued in Jewish communities. And there was debate from ancient times about whether or not some of these should be considered part of their scriptures.
So, this is a lot of different writings over a long period of time. Why did they put them all together like this?
Well, altogether, these texts tell an epic story about how God is working through these people to bring order and beauty out of the chaos of our world. And it all builds up to a hope for a new leader who would come and renew all creation. And then the Tanakh concludes, and this leader never comes.
So it's an expertly crafted work, but it's missing an ending?
That's exactly right. Now, a few centuries later, a Jewish prophet comes onto the scene named Jesus of Nazareth. He claimed he was carrying the Tanakh story forward.
Yeah, so Jesus did a bunch of cool stuff, was killed, but his followers claimed he was alive from the dead.
Yeah, they said that Jesus was that long-awaited leader who would restore the world. And so his earliest followers, called apostles, they composed new literary works about the story of Jesus. They called these Good News, or the Gospel. They formed an account called Acts about the spread of the Jesus movement outside of Israel. And then they circulated letters to different Jesus communities all around the ancient world.
And they saw these writings as part of the scripture.
Yeah, the apostles wrote all of this as the fulfillment of that epic story found in the Tanakh. And they were continuing the literary genius of the Jewish tradition. They also believed that God was speaking to his people through these texts alongside the scriptures of Israel.
So, that is a lot to take in.
Gripping. I loved it.
It's a lot of information, but it is really true. The story of the Bible begins with people inspired by God to write stuff about, stories about God and what he did for his people Israel, stories about his guidance through that whole generation.
Right.
And it's amazing because it is people who wrote these stories,
Yes.
but they are inspired by God to write what they believe want them to see.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. The Bible was written by man, inspired by God.
Yes. So whenever we ask the question, how did God make the Bible? It's God made the Bible by inspiring other people like you and me to write these things that have benefited us to this day.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about the Bible is that the text and the writings that we got from them have translated all the way up to this day. I mean, even our core values are based off of writings from thousands of years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, God transmitted this information to humans who then wanted to transmit it to their fellow humans.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so we eventually find better and better ways to transmit that information.
Absolutely.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, hey, Jaden and Atlee Trotter watching and saying good morning.
Hello,
good morning to you, too. I'm guessing that was Elsie that is now referring to me as Mirror Boy. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I hope that doesn't stick.
Yeah, that'd be a shame.
But that is a brief, that is the best way we can describe how God made the Bible is through the people back then. And it was hundreds of years worth of writings all put together. And there was a part in there that talked about how there was other writings of the Bible that were secondary and people were debating on whether or not those things came in. And that is true. There are other books that are included in other Bibles. I grew up in a church that includes those books that were mentioned. Right. Yeah. And there's always been a debate as to whether or not those books should be in the Bible or shouldn't be in the Bible. But just know that whatever is written by God is stuff that helps us learn and helps us grow. So even if it's part of, your friend's Bible or someone else's Bible. If it's inspired by God, it's worth it. Worth reading, right? That's what it is. And that's the biggest thing is these are words that God wants us to learn and to grow upon. So that's why we should be reading our Bibles and also learning about these things too. But the second question that was asked about us, and we'll go ahead and throw it back up on there on the screen, it says, where did we get information about the past or the Bible? Oh, yeah. And that's an also very interesting question because, the Bible is really good information, but is there stuff to back it up? Is there other writings that prove things about the Bible? And the answer to that is actually yes. It is yes. Yeah, we definitely would want to look for what Bible scholars would do, Bible historians and things like that, is they want to look for evidence of that backs up what the Bible says. Right. And so there is some actually there's a really cool story about some of that evidence that's been found. I assume you're talking about the scrolls. I am. So, real quick, guys, there's another really cool story. There's a story about these scrolls called the Dead Sea Scrolls. They were found inside of a cave. That's an awesome name, by the way. Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah. That's very cool. It's my new band These name. Were scrolls that were found inside of a cave many, many years ago. And they were found by these shepherds who were just like walking through and they found them just by accident. But these scrolls contain information that not only supported what the Bible said, but also helped make it match up with a lot of the things in the Bible. So it became less of the Bible's a story and more of actual historical evidence. Right. You have other documents that refer to the same thing that the Bible is referring to, backing it up. But here's my question about that though. Those are called scrolls, right? So they're the ones that rolled up, long pieces of paper. Yeah. You guys know what a scroll is, right? You take a piece of paper and roll it up. Here's my question. How did that scroll and the subsequent writings, because most of the things were written on scrolls back then, how did those things go from a scroll to a Bible? Because the Bible's like a book now. Yeah. Whenever Calvin asks a leading question like that, don't you guys just automatically assume that he's got some kind of video prepared to show us? That would be great if I did. If only one would just show up, whenever I snap my fingers. That would be so cool.
The scrolls were handwritten some 2,000 years ago on durable animal skin parchment, with a few written on papyrus. They were mostly composed in Hebrew from right to left, with sheets written in columns, then sewn together, creating a single scroll. For safekeeping, some of them would be wrapped in linen and encapsulated in tall jars. The scroll was eventually replaced by the codex as the format for Christian manuscripts. They were made by folding sheets of papyrus and stitching them together. As time passed, codices began to grow larger and more complex. During the medieval period, books were reproduced by hand. Monks spent their days copying texts in Latin and Greek, while others illustrated the pages. It was a grueling process that required great skill and training. The books were very expensive. To illuminate the text, they used various pigments and gold leaf. And the pages could require the hides of hundreds of sheep or calves. But it was the introduction of the printing press that transitioned the Bible from the Middle Ages into the early modern world. This invention revolutionized book production, ultimately making the Bible available to the masses. Today, it is the best-selling book of all time.
Best-selling book of all time, go Bible!
Yeah, no kidding. But that is true. That is a very good example of like how the Bible was translated from the scrolls to what they called a codex, to the monks' drawings and their descriptions, to the book that was printed and is now what we have today.
Yeah, you like originally so many of these this inspired word of God was actually just spoken, and then they found ways to write it down, and then they found better ways to compile it, and then they put all those together and organized it. Like, can you imagine when it was just a scroll, guys? Like, hey, Calvin, could you look up the story of Job for me real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just unroll that scroll there and then just like running down. Yeah, no, that would be hard. Now we have
get to it.
Now I have my phone. I just type it in. And
yeah, you can put on mobile devices,
fantastic.
right? Kind of things. And not only was it had to be conscribed from a scroll to a book, it had to be translated because the original things were written in a language that you and I actually don't know.
Oh my gosh!
And it had to be translated from those languages to languages that we know today. And even those translations have been translated.
they have.
That is what is amazing about the Bible, guys. I want you to understand this. It's been translated and turned into what we have for today, and it has still held the truth of what God wanted us to know over thousands of years. And that's the thing. Yeah. You could take a book from a different language, from a different culture, and you could put it into the hands of us people today, and it still has truths that we need to know. And that's how you know the Bible is so amazing and so valuable.
Yeah.
And it really is. And I know that, you know what, people don't talk about reading the Bible a lot, but guys, it is such a good tool to help us, because that's what we've been talking about this whole series.
I was just thinking, like, as convenient as it is for us, how we have this Bible in multiple translations. Guys, if you have the Bible app on your phone, take a look. You can find all these different translations of it, right?
Absolutely. And
if we have all of that at our disposal, that's like super exciting. I should be a much better Christ follower, Calvin.
You should.
Shut up. We all should. I mean, we have so much at our fingers. Oh.
No. But it is true. The Bible is easy access for all of us. And it is, guys, we've been talking about answering questions in this series. We've been talking about questions that you guys have brought up and the answers that we have found. And the only way we found these answers is through the Bible. The Bible provides all the answers to the questions that we have.
If we didn't have the Bible to start with, we would not have a starting point for answering these questions.
That's absolutely true. And we've discovered even through our readings of the Bible that we still have questions about things in the Bible that we forgot we had.
Oh, yeah.
And it is continued to be the source of the answers that we seek. And that's why it's such an amazing thing.
Absolutely. And there is even value in dealing with the questions that don't have answers. And I'd love to talk more about that.
I mean, because that don't have. That's a good one. That's something we're going to be hitting on at some point.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, I really want to get you the surprise personalized prize. So if you did see the crazy symbol somewhere in here, when you comment on it, don't worry about spoiling anything. You comment what exactly it was. Whatever it is.
Make sure you go in there and do that. And that brings us to the other thing we want to talk about, which is the showcase of the week.
All right.
That is this week's thing. Now, guys, I have to be honest with you. Last week we had a showcase of your artistic rendering of Jonah and the Whale.
Yeah. How many awesome entrants did we get? Who are we going to show? Whose artwork do we get to show this week, Calvin?
None. Unfortunately, there were 0. Big goose egg.
That's why you were crying earlier when I walked in?
There were many reasons, but yes, that was one of them. Guys, we didn't get any showcases last week, so we can't show you on the screen some of the great things that you guys did.
So we're never doing Blue Room again. That's
not true, Drew.
Oh.
We are revamping it this week, and we're doing it again. Guys, the showcase of the week.
Let's hear it. What is it?
We want you to be like the authors of the Bible back then. They took what they were told and they wrote it down on paper, and then they presented it to other people. So this week, what we want you to do, go find somebody in your family. It can be an aunt, an uncle, a grandma, a grandpa, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, whoever, a best friend. They can be part of your family too. Go to them and ask them what their favorite Bible verse is, or Bible story, or something in the Bible.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it could be anything. What we want you to do is want you to take that, write it down on a scroll, a piece of paper, a piece of wood. It could be literally anything you want to write down.
So basically, you're saying that they're going to kind of like simulate how the Bible was made.
Absolutely.
Someone is going to transmit information to them, and they are going to then write it down so it can be transmitted to someone else, and it's going to be a Bible verse. So they're basically going to be like part of that whole history. I love it.
It's a win-win for
I love it.
But here's the thing. When you do that, you can't just do it and call it good. We've got to be able to see it.
Oh, yeah.
We've
so you
got
need
to
that.
see you
We
guys.
want to see it, because without that, there's
nothing we can do.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, we can't showcase it, and we can't put you guys in for more cool prizes. And stuff like
that would be sad
make
again.
sure that you guys are doing this showcase of this week. Find a verse in the Bible told to you by somebody else.
Yep.
Write it down. Take a picture. Take a video. Do something. And make sure that you post to the socials.
Yeah,
You
please.
can connect to us right down here.
It was
kids@cotfc.com. You can email them to us if you want to. Or just put it on Instagram and use the hashtags below. Late Morning Show, hashtag Late Morning Show, hashtag COTFC Kids. We are looking at those socials. We're watching them for something. And if you put yours up there,
I'm glued to it. And all week I was looking for something to pop up.
Guys. If you put it on there, I guarantee you, we will find it, we will take it, and we will show it you guys here on the Late Morning Show.
I just thought of something.
What's that?
You and I should be forced to do this too. We
know
will
what?
lead the way.
We will definitely do it. I will post something this week.
Okay, so
on
will I.
Instagram. I will use the hashtags, and I will put it up there. But I want you guys to be doing too. I don't want to showcase my stuff on here. I want to see your guys' stuff, okay?
Absolutely.
You guys are amazing.
Shout out to Maddie, who thinks she can pause us in real life. Maddie, you are a sweetheart.
I mean, if she hits the pause button, who knows what will happen? I mean, anything could happen.
Whoa.
You could literally pause us right then and there if you really want.
All right, yeah. Thanks, Alyosha Karamazov, for giving us that message from Maddie.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you for trying to pause us. We love you a lot.
Let's see if she can try again. Maddie, get ready to press pause one more time.
Get ready.
I guess it didn't work. I don't know.
Pause her now. Well, guys, I hope you learned a little bit about the Bible today. And please, make sure that you go and do your own research if you have more questions. Or ask people. Ask questions.
Yeah, here's what I really want. I'm sorry. I really want
What do you want?
these kids to ask their families all about what they think about the Bible, what they think about what we talk about here, to have them be in that conversation. Really good thing. Kids, guys, talk to your parents about today's sermon in Big Church. It was killer. Have that conversation.
Did you go to Big Church?
I did. It was awesome. I needed to hear it.
It's really good stuff. But here's the thing. We want you guys to have these conversations. We want you guys to be talking about this stuff, asking these questions, asking us these questions. That's why we do this interactively, because we want you guys to see and hear from us as much as we want to see and hear from you. Well, not see. and kind of see.
I want to see.
I mean, we can't really see that.
Well, they can send us pictures.
That's true. You could do pictures too. But that's the whole point of this series, is asking questions and getting answers. And we really want you guys to keep doing that. We love that we've been able to do it so far, and we can't wait.
We want that to be a part of your life going forward, that you are always asking questions about the Bible, always asking questions about your faith.
Even when we come back to Blue Room, we're still going to be doing stuff like this. We're still going to be taking questions and answering them with you guys in actual Blue Room. Because,
but if we're in the middle of a sketch, we might tell you to hold on to your questions.
We might have to.
Let's be fair.
But thank you guys for bringing these questions to us. We have a few more great questions. This series is about halfway done, I think, or a little bit.
We'll see.
More.
Yeah, that's the
we've
plan.
got some more really good questions that we want to talk about. We've got a couple of really cool things in store for you guys. But thank you guys for joining today. I'm so glad you guys were here chatting with us. Thank you, Jaden and Maddie and Henry and Elsie
and Atlee and
Thomas and Jesse and all these people who were here today. You guys were great. We so much fun with you guys.
Yeah, we hope to see you back here next week. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
I'm done.
Are you going to go back and mirror at some point?
Oh. Yeah, sure.
Am I in it? I think you're up there.
All right,
I think you're in the mirror. Guys, thank you for joining us this week. As it's always been, we love you. I'm Calvin.
I'm Drew.
And we'll see you guys next time.